Hey guys, before the video starts, I just need to apologize. There were some technical difficulties as Ryan and I were recording a batch of videos. This disclaimer is going to be in front of all of them. But so I apologize for the audio on Ryan's end. We had compound issues, some at his end, some at my end, that I didn't catch until we were done. I've cleaned up the audio as best I can. All the opinions are still valid. All of the recommendations are still solid. So I apologize. We have worked through those and we should be good to go next time. Take it easy and enjoy the episode.
I mean, you get more out of the behind the scenes documentary I think Netflix had about Thriller. You learn more about him, and there was what was it? The We Are the World documentary as well.
Oh yeah, the greatest night in pop or whatever.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. I am Mark, and that guy next to me is Ryan. Hi Ryan.
Hello.
So we have lots of movies that we have seen, but we're going to talk about this one first because it might be the most, I don't think it's the most difficult film that we saw this week.
No.
But it might be the most controversial film that we saw this week. And that is Michael, the Michael Jackson movie. But not the whole Michael Jackson because it stops in 1988. So
it barely gets to 1988.
It does. It skips right from 84 to 88. So, nice pedigree though. Antoine Fuqua is our director. John Logan, who wrote a bunch of James Bonds and Any Given Sunday and all kinds of stuff, somehow winds up on the Michael Jackson movie. That's strange. Michael's nephew, Jafar Jackson, plays Michael, older Michael.
Yeah.
And one of our favorite actors plays Joseph Jackson, Coleman Domingo. What a rat bastard Joseph Jackson was.
But I think I would. Well, we can get into this, but I would think that it could have been much worse and probably was.
Well, Joseph was probably much worse, but Coleman could not have been better.
No, absolutely.
So if there's one good thing that comes out of this, he'll probably get another Oscar nomination.
Well, I'd hope so. I mean,
because I don't think they can overlook that performance even in this film. It's just that good. So it is. It starts in 1966, Gary, Indiana. The family full of Jehovah's Witnesses are being browbeat by the father to become superstars for the family. Always for the family. So if you're familiar with Michael Jackson at all, you know, A, that the soundtrack on this thing is awesome. And B, he's a weird dude. But you know what? Everyone's weird in their own way. Michael just had different ways. Absolutely. You can't talk about this movie without talking about later Michael. And we don't get there.
No.
And that's disappointing.
Yes.
What did you want going into this? Did you want anything? Did you want this at all?
I was a huge Michael Jackson fan as a kid. Back in the days when you would rent VCRs, we go down to the pizza place, and I would rent the VCR and the Thriller / Making of Thriller video cassette, probably once a month.
Wow.
For a year or so. That was my introduction to both zombies as well as one of the introductions to music.
Right.
So I had a Michael Jackson poster on my wall, you know, as a 7-year-old. But obviously things have changed radically, I think, over time since then. Michael himself changed quite a bit in appearance as well as reputation. When this initially was announced, they were talking about it being a lot more honest. And I think that, we know that they had to do 20-something days of reshoot.
Yes, for NDA purposes.
They had to basically redo the entire final act. Part of me wonders what that version, the version that they intended to make, looked like.
You know what's weird though is the what I saw, and again, I don't want to dig too deep into that stuff because we could rehash all of that stuff ad nauseum. The NDA was it was a buried clause in some guy's NDA about his, and it's like, well, couldn't you just continue the story and not cover that guy?
Well, they also shot scenes with Diana Ross, the character Diana Ross that got cut. So I think there probably were quite a few things that they had to rework. But when you look at the producers, you see that the family's producing, and that is somewhat of a bad sign for this sort of thing. When you have characters who are controversial, I think one of the complaints about Bohemian Rhapsody was that it was fairly sanitized, and that was because it was produced by the members of Queen. So it is problematic from that standpoint, but I don't know that you're going to find that the family would have been willing to let any other film go forward.
No, and it was notable that Janet was nowhere.
Yeah, and apparently, I mean, she didn't produce, she didn't appear in the film.
Her name is nowhere. She is not mentioned. There's one girl, Jackson, and it's LaToya.
Yeah, so there might there probably is something there. So, you can. So, look, this film comes with a lot of caveats. I think is what we're trying to drive at here, and so it's kind of most films you don't have to kind of go, well, they should have done this or could have done this, but legally they couldn't.
Right.
Usually, that's not one of the things we have to really worry about. But in the case of Michael Jackson, obviously there are victims, and there are clauses, and there are that out there. And so we don't get, I think, the film that was originally intended, but to a certain extent, I think this is the best they could do with what they were given.
Can you imagine? I mean, they did reshoot, sure, but it's still over 2 hours long. How long was the original cut? And then, so let's talk about it. So knowing what this film is, it's sanitized, but not completely.
Not completely, no.
Because Michael is still beaten on a pretty regular basis as a child.
Yeah.
Up to and including my favorite pick your own belt. Which some of us when we were kids, it was go pick your own switch. Same concept. Choose the method of your destruction. So I think it's necessarily a very low threat film, but I don't think it's bad as a film. I think the performances are good. I think the cast is really good. So it's a weird film. It's not particularly great, but it's only the worst film ever if what you wanted was a scathing takedown of later Michael. In which case you are bound to be upset by this film.
Well, and this film, it's, and I don't know when the accusation started, but during almost all of this film, he is still either living with his family or living on the family compound that they had. And so this Neverland is a concept that really he dreams about quite a few times during the film, but it's never a place that we actually go to.
Nope.
And so in that environment, this may happen before all the accusations and all that whatnot, came to be, but I don't know,
So where do you fall on this? What do you think of? I mean, aside from Coleman being incredible, what do you think about the rest of the film as a film?
I think it's, I think if there wasn't a controversy, if we didn't have caveats, I think it's a decent film. I don't know that it's great, but no, you said, the music is great. You get more out of the behind the scenes documentary. I think Netflix had about Thriller. You learn more about him, and there was the We Are the World documentary as well.
The greatest night in pop or whatever.
So you get a sense of what Michael was like in the studio more in that film. Although there is one scene in this film that kind of has that. But so it is kind of strange because you don't get to see the genius that was off stage,
Right.
because there was that was there as well. We see the on stage, we see the problematic relationship with his father.
Call it that.
Well, I mean, his abusive relationship with his father. So, and again, I think that's probably toned down as well from what it really was. And the thing that's kind of sad about the whole story is the whole industry knew that Michael was going to be messed up. They knew how bad his father was, and I think you can kind of see that in elements in this film as well, where you have Quincy Jones or the Motown producer or whoever who are obviously saying, this guy, we'd rather avoid him, but there's no one really going in to save Michael either, except for maybe one character, but he doesn't really do anything until towards the end, and it's anyway. But I mean, everyone kind of knew about Joseph, so there's elements of that in here. But I mean, I guess if it's what probably sympathetic Michael Jackson fans would like. Yeah. It's not 100% true, but most of these biopic films, they're not either. So I mean, but it's an elephant in the room, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, and that's sad because it's otherwise not too shabby.
No, good dancing, great music, decent story.
Hold on a second. I got to pause for a second.
Okay. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so let's wrap up Michael.
All right, well, let's wrap up Michael.
It's enjoyable for the music, but it's not like I said, it's not the greatest movie ever, but it is not the worst movie ever, in my opinion.
I agree. And I wasn't a huge fan of Bohemian Rhapsody either, and I know a lot of people like that. This was similar to me. This was similar for me, actually, to that. But no, it's fine. Just don't expect too much of it as far as delving into controversies. I don't know if the Leaving Neverland or whatever the documentary that was at Sunday. I don't know if that's ever going to actually see the light of day. I haven't seen it, but apparently that would be more of for those who are looking for the dark element.
Yep. So there you go, Michael, in theaters Friday, tomorrow for us, for whatever day, the 24th of April. If you're at home. So there you go. Don't forget to like us, follow us on social media. Go to the website, vsmoviepodcast.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. That would be lovely as well. Till we talk to you again, be good, stay safe. I'm Mark. That's Ryan.
I am. See you later.
Bye, Ryan.